hours of the regular show on terrestrial radio, and you wanted a little bit more, so that's why you found the Gun Talk After Show podcast, where we saved all the best things that we can't say on regular radio. Now here's Tom, Michelle, and Jim for the Gun Talk After Show.
All right, it's the after show. We are gathered together here. We have Jim Kinsey over there. Hello, James.
Hello.
And we have Michelle Cleland over there.
Hello.
Has Tom Hennig joined us today?
Tom is here.
Tom?
I'm just kind of waiting in the background.
Oh, well, you got to know your place, man. Okay, it's simple as that. Okay. We're going to talk about the escapades of Jim, Michelle, and Tom, and what you guys did last night. We'll do that in just a little bit, though. But we do have some callers who have been so very patient, and we're going to, they've been hanging with us, so let's do that right now. Line 2, Monty's with us out of Reno, Nevada. Monty, what happened at the movie theater?
Hey, Tom, we went to the Century Movie Theater, the wife and I, to go to see a movie today, and her purse is bigger than 12 by 12 by 6. Not much bigger, but it is bigger, and we were turned away because they now have a new policy and the gal told me, well, you could hide a gun in there or a bomb, so you can't take a diaper bag, a big purse, or anything like that into your Sign Mart or Century Theaters now, because we're all evil, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, 12 by 12 by 6?
That's what the sign said, yes.
Okay,
the lady said.
You know, I am just so perverse, Michelle. we got to get a 12 by 12 by 6 purse, and let's just see how many guns we can get in there. I'll bet you we could come up with 25 different models without breaking a sweat. What do you think?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I mean, start off with all the J-frames, all the Ruger revolvers, all the 380s.
Any subcompact ever made, right?
Yeah, every subcompact ever made. In fact, we could probably get like 6 guns in there at one time. I guess all that's just to say that's idiotic. I'm thinking maybe you just go in there with a rifle case, as a purse. See if you can get away with that.
Something that's very obvious.
I don't know. I'm just perverse this way,
It's a rifle case. You open it up and there's a violin in it just to throw at everybody.
I didn't know they put a stipulation on the size of purse to go to the cinema.
They just started that, he said.
Wow.
What I would do is I would have said, well, God, I'll have to get a smaller purse, which means I got to get a smaller gun.
Well, what they said to do was she had to go out to her car and leave her purse in the car, which she's not going to do.
So you guys just left.
I just thought, I wanted my money back and said, well, we'll make sure that it gets out there that Sign Mart no longer. I mean, what do you do if you have a baby? You have your diaper bag? That's not 12 by 12 by 6. So, and they said no bags, period. So, okay.
Well, I'll go put the purse in, and I'll just have to put that in my inside the waistband holster when I come back in. Thanks very much.
They do have a no-gun sign up, that's for sure.
No, they don't.
I must have missed that.
No, they don't. I never saw it.
Yeah, Reno, they do.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. You're not understanding me. It's not there. I never saw it.
Well, I agree. I never saw it either, but, I'm blinded by that vision, I guess.
That's right. As I get older, I have trouble seeing things.
Can I ask a question here that's on topic but a little off topic? What movie were you going to see?
Darkest Hour, actually.
Okay.
Winston Churchill, Saving the World.
Yes.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
Good movie, by the way. I will tell you. I went to see it.
Guess I'll have to wait till it comes out on video.
Man.
Because I told them I will not be back. And
yep. I understand.
So do I.
Now, here's the thing. What you got to do, because it really has no effect on them if you just do that. But what you do is every time you rent a movie, you get the email address of the manager. You send an email that says, today we watched another movie. We were going to come to your place, but we saved $20, and we're not going to be there because of this policy. And then the next time you send them another email. I mean, every time you just hammer them. Every time you watch a movie, every time you rent a movie, just hammer them. And just say, just want you to understand, you're still not getting our money because of your stupid policy.
Right, and if you can, actually try to get a name and number or email address of a supervisor on a regional level or district level.
That's
because
true.
Often the store manager is not going to forward that stuff.
Well, usually a movie theater manager is usually 18 years old. And it's hanging out in the back, making the moves on the young woman that's running the popcorn machine or something. It's like who cares? They don't care.
Right.
She was an older lady and was very misinformed because she told me it was the law that we couldn't have that bag in there. And actually a friend of mine that works there told her, no, it's a policy of Side Mart. It's not a law. So,
they don't know the difference. So,
they don't know anything.
I mean, and of course, that's one of those deals, though, I just get a different person. I'd go and do what I got to do. But, the other way to go is just to say, I'm not going to give you my money. But you got to keep telling them over and over again, and you got to tell the right people. And here's what you do. Go on Yelp. I don't know if you're familiar with Yelp, but it's a site where you can review things. Yeah. Go on there and just start saying, this place is unsafe.
I will do that.
Post the reasons and give a heads up. They don't let this happen. And I'm not above costing them money and getting their attention and saying, guys, there are consequences to being stupid. There just are. And so here we are. I am here to visit the consequences upon you.
I agree totally. I was going to write to corporate also, and I know they don't usually listen, but they get enough of us, and maybe they will. I mean, it's just ludicrous.
And, the irony to all of this is the type of movies that are being shown at the theaters all contain violence and firearms. I mean, let's be real. That's what all the people are going to see. For the majority. I'm going to say the majority of those movies.
No, you're right.
They're all the action movies. That's how they're making their money.
It's the only thing that's making money these days. Because, 14-year-olds, that's what they go watch. So there you are. But no, I'm sorry you missed it. But when it comes out, on DVD or pay-per-view, you can watch it that way. It's a good movie. Gary Oldman did a fabulous job as Winston Churchill in that movie, I thought.
What everybody says, so that's what we'll do. And I'll make sure I start writing these little notes to them.
Or find a very big wallet. You start carrying a very big
It's not a bag, it's a wallet.
Good idea. I'm going to get one of the pages exactly 12 by 12 by 6. Well, get your tape measure out. So.
You know what you do? Okay, this is just how weird I am. I would like this. Have a purse made that's like 16 by 16 by 10, but have printed on it a ruler that shows it to be 11 by 11 by 5.
Nice.
That's a good idea, Tom.
It's a twisted brain I have, and I'm sorry that you have to be exposed to it. There it is. Oh, jeez. Well, I appreciate the call.
Enjoy the show. Gotta go.
Take care. All right. Thank you very much. Guys, I gather that we've lost our line 1, right?
Actually, we have a mystery caller just kidding, and you want to roll the dice.
The phone is ringing. Answer it. Let's see who it is.
3, 2, 1.
Hello. You're on Gun Talk.
Well, hi, Tom. This is Roy from Waterville. I have a question for you that may be too powerful. You might want to put me on the after show.
You are now on the after show. I tell you what, if it's powerful enough, tell you what we're going to do. We're actually not going to listen to you while you say it, okay? We'll put our fingers in our ears.
Okay, all right.
Go
and
for
I
it.
I've debated over and over about asking this and presenting it to you, and I wouldn't be surprised, and I wouldn't think of anything about it if you didn't want to answer it. Tom,
Okay.
You know these Democratic gun banner people better than anyone. Do you believe they are not above presenting, empowering, looking out for these kind of terrible serial killers and wantingly help them get in to do their terrible, evil task so they can front their agenda?
Mm-hmm. Here's what I think. I think part of what you suggest is true. I don't think they actually help the individual. I don't think they're behind the shootings or anything like that. But the first part of what you said actually was true, which is they are organized and planning and ready to go, which is they have their course of action all planned out. They have their immediate contacts all planned out. I mean, come on. They just put a bunch of kids on buses and bus them from South Florida up to Tallahassee. That's like a 5 or 6 hour bus ride. Who paid for the buses?
Yeah.
Those weren't public school buses. And so, they are primed and ready to use a tragedy to further their agenda. It's that old line of, Rahm Emanuel, never let a crisis go to waste. That's the attitude.
So you don't think they would proactive go out and seek an individual and empower them to do this for their own purposes?
No, I do not.
Okay.
I just...
Well,
you know what it is?
You would know. You would know, and I'm glad to hear you say that, actually.
And I'm not saying, look, I understand that there are some truly evil people out there.
Yeah.
But I don't think this is happening. And some may say, well, you just don't want to think about it. That could be true, too. But I would have to say I don't think that's happening. I think that may be a step too far for us to go. Mm-hmm. I don't. Yeah. But I do think for sure they take advantage of it. We know that.
Oh, yeah.
The other thing is, and I think Dana Loesch is right, I think a lot of them take great glee in mass murder.
Yeah, I think so, too, yeah.
I do believe that. I think they look at that and just lick their chops at the opportunity, whether it's the gun ban lobby or it's the media. And, did you guys hear what Dana Loesch said? She says to CPAC, she was saying the legacy media loves mass shootings and they love to show white mothers crying.
That's totally uncalled for.
Yeah. But she said, and the reason I'm saying that white mothers is because we have hundreds and thousands of black mothers in Chicago crying, and you never see a town hall for them.
Oh.
Wow.
Ouch. Ouch.
Wow.
But that's how everybody reacted. That was totally uncalled for.
Yeah. I thought it was totally on point.
Yeah.
I mean,
thanks for your viewpoint, Tom. I tell you, I am of the opinion, and probably too much, and I'm probably wrong. I think you're wrong. I think people like Bloomberg actually seek out and empower them. But it's a terrible thing.
You could be right, and I just, it's one of those deals that there are some things I just don't want to think are true because I think it would. I don't know that I can handle that.
I know. Me too. All right, Tom, thanks. Love you guys. You're doing a great job. Take care.
Appreciate the call. Yeah. And if the phone rings, just answer it. You never know. It was Michael Bloomberg, but put him on hold, okay? Yeah, Michelle, you heard that when Dana Loesch said that, I take it.
Yes, and then she was on this morning also with George Stephanopoulos.
Ooh,
and
that had to be interesting.
It was right at the very start of the show, so I'm not sure how many people, tuned in and anything else. Of course, they got her out of the way in a hurry. And then allowed the rest of the program to be
Stephanopoulos, who was a big wheel in the Clinton White House. For those not old enough to remember, he has not always been a TV guy. He was a political operative for Bill and Hillary Clinton.
Yeah. But if anybody wants to look that up, I thought she did an awesome job again this morning to dispel the untruths. And she turned it right around on him and would not allow him to pass her by without answering her question first. So look it up. It was awesome.
Dana is the best spokesman the NRA has had in 50 years.
Well, but she knows so much. I mean, she's got facts. She's got it. Yeah, she's awesome.
She's better than Charlton Heston ever was. She's better than LaPierre has ever been and ever will be. If it's up to me, if I were running, I'd never let Wayne get in front of a TV camera.
Let's say those are just camera people.
Talking heads, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just, put her out there and let her go.
Yeah.
And she does a great job. And frankly, honestly, the more they want to beat up on her, the worse they look. Because she's so reasonable, and she's a mother, and she's sitting there, and they're saying you're a burner and you're a murderer. And
so it's
shows
okay
them off to be what they are.
Right. It's okay to turn that around on her.
Yeah, right.
It's the same thing.
I'm sorry. Somehow she's responsible for this?
Right. Like you and I are, and Jim, and Tom, and anybody else that's an NRA member.
See, I just gave her a pass because she's good looking, that's all.
Yeah, well,
never hurts.
But she's sharp and she's very cordial. I don't know her, but I've met her 2 or 3 times. We've spoken, and she's always very nice, speaks to everybody. Now, for those who may have run into her, she's always in a hurry, and people always want a bit of her time, so she's moving fast. So if she, moves past you in a hurry, that's just because she's got to get to the next thing. I get that. I understand it. All right, I'll tell you what I want to do. I want to take a quick break, and then we're going to take a break from this because I heard that guns exchanged hands last night among and between the 3 of you.
Uh-oh.
There's got to be a story here.
Uh-oh.
And the real question that people really want to know is, why wasn't I there?
Right.
Why weren't you?
Well, we can discuss this after we have a
crass commercial message.
Exactly.
Right. Be right back.
Get ready for something totally new from LMT. A short personal defense weapon with an integral suppressor. Featuring new suppressor technology from Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory, the CSW, or Confined Space Weapon, has a 24-inch overall length profile and includes their new high-performance suppressor that can shoot supersonic and subsonic ammunition with no changes. Chambered for the 300 blackout, the CSW allows quick movement in tight quarters. For more, visit lmtdefense.com.
Whether you are a first-timer or seasoned shooter, Double Star has the guns, edged weapons, and parts you desire. Our products are made in America and held to the highest quality standards. No exceptions. Double Star and Ace Limited manufactures products people bet their lives on without hesitation. That awesome responsibility motivates the Double Star family, and it will proudly protect yours. When you're ready for the best, join our family at star15.com. That's star15.com.
All right, so what went on last night?
It's Jim's fault.
Okay, let's just start with that. You're just laying it down right there, aren't you?
Just a blanket, yeah.
I had to get it in.
We can just end it right there. That
just start right there.
James'
Jim
fault.
on it.
I didn't do it.
Tom's over there in the corner being quiet, but I understand that Tom was part of this little
yes, he was.
Yeah,
gun fest.
he's got some slobber hanging right now.
He's not innocent
drooling.
either.
Because he came away with a firearm. Tom.
I tell you, I'm going to hand him the mic. I'm stepping out of this.
All right.
I'm George stepping out for this.
Oh.
That's terrible. Terrible. So, Tom, what was this event you went to?
It is a wild game dinner / gun raffle.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fundraiser put on by the Sons of the American Legion.
In our own personal gun mall, Michelle Cleland.
No.
Handing out guns left and right.
Just anybody
Hey, you want a gun? Sure, here. What do you like? Well, I'm sorry, it won't fit in a 12 by 12 by 6. So you can't have it.
You're under 18, we'll give you a smaller gun.
Thanks.
Great.
All right, so what was this thing? It's a fundraiser?
It's a fundraiser, and had a lot of great food.
Yeah.
Venison meatloaf was top notch.
There's some in the fridge, by the way.
Okay.
Jim's over in the corner chewing on it. So, okay. So, but they had a raffle. You bought raffle tickets?
Absolutely, yeah. They had 10 guns laid out that you buy tickets for, and they got like a little ballot box with the number on it. And you
so
put
describe
your tickets
this.
in, the one
Is Michelle the one who's pulling the tickets?
Oh, no.
No?
Nope. It was just our license that was being...
Oh, okay. So you're okay. As the FFL, you're helping with that.
Yep. That was my only job there.
So they pull Tom's name out, I hear.
Yeah.
Your ticket out. What'd you get?
I got a Taurus 709.
Nice.
Slim 9mm
Slim.
pistol.
Nice. And then right after that, the next ticket pulled was...
There was one for a revolver after that, but then the next one after that, all of a sudden I hear Jim go, yeah!
So Jim wins a gun.
He got the Glock that he wanted.
He got like a Glock 43.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I think it was fixed. I'm calling fixed.
I would think so, yeah. So you got the gun talk crew there, and they're all taking guns away from this thing. I'm thinking, Yeah,
we heard a few of those. Oh, they're in on it. But the funny thing was, I only really put money on 2 guns, and one of them was the Henry Big Boy, which I missed by 1 number. It hurt. Ooh. Yeah. Actually, I missed it twice. I missed it by 1 number, and I had a ticket with the reverse last 2 numbers. So I think the guy should at least give me the box or something. But
oh my gosh!
But yeah, I got a Glock.
You do have a weird way of looking at that.
I know.
That, right?
The eternal optimist. I got a Glock 43 with Talo sights, the Talo edition. Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
Although I won't know because Michelle wouldn't let me take it with me.
No, that's right. That was my job.
It's just the funny little federal laws get in the way.
Yeah,
sometimes.
pesky.
Yeah. And so I hear that Tom came to work early today.
Oh, yeah, I went and picked mine up.
Yeah.
Shortly after Cleland's was open. So I put about 100 rounds through it.
And you came to work early so you could step outside and shoot the gun.
Yeah, you didn't hear that.
Of course.
Okay.
Well, why not? Oh, that's great. Oh, by the way, Michelle, I didn't even ask you, did you get the email that I sent you?
I did get the email, yes, but Jim doesn't know about it.
Ixnay. Someone may be getting an ungay.
reached out to the gentleman and left a message, and I'm going to have to call him back again. So.
Excellent. Somebody's going to get a really nice gun. Excellent. I mean, not free. We're paying for this stuff. You know, it's none of this, but that's okay. All right. So, what's been? I don't even have to ask. In the store, I know what the conversation is. People are just irritated and ticked, and you're at a certain point. You just get tired of being blamed for something that you had nothing to do with, don't you?
Oh, I can tell you, yes. I mean, absolutely. We're looked at as the dirty people that give firearms to someone that shouldn't have them. You know,
you're,
I mean,
you're the gun dealer.
Exactly.
Dealer as in drug dealer, gun dealer,
right.
Same thing. Right?
Yeah, you know, regardless of how much paperwork and
the FBI background
exactly
checks,
that we have to do. But yes, so obviously the people who are coming in are the people that are concerned, and you know, it causes, I'm going to say, somewhat of a panic because they start talking about changing the laws.
So people are buying guns?
Yep. And you get tired of it. I guess it's just like grieving the loss of a loved one. You know, you go through your different stages. Last week it was quite emotional, and this week you're like, oh, you want to fight back against it because I had nothing to do with the shooting that happened. Jim had nothing to do with it. You had nothing to do with it. Just because we're law-abiding citizens who may carry a firearm and may not.
Yeah.
You know what it kind of reminds me of?
So.
It kind of reminds me of what the black folks and the Irish went through when they came here. And the blacks into the 60s, actually, that, you know, oh, you're one of those people.
Oh, yes.
You know, you're an Irishman. Oh, you're a no good, you know.
I've drawn that comparison before. We're the only group left that it's okay to be openly bigoted about.
Yeah, good point.
You know, I mean, the stuff they say about us, no one would be allowed to say about any other definable group.
Well, and it's just funny. The first thing they want to do is shut down the right of being, I don't see what the need is. Well, then you haven't shared in that heritage, and I'm sorry that you've lost out on that. But I don't say that you shouldn't be able to go on public television and give your opinion, because, oh, yeah, that's one of those rights, too.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, it's different.
Well, Canada's going through a free speech thing right now.
Are they?
It's actually illegal to, in certain areas, certain topics, to speak your mind. You can actually get arrested. They arrested some 70-year-old guy because he was out in public stating his opinion on something. It's like,
there are a lot of countries where you can't, and it goes further than that. In North Korea, they execute you for expressing doubt about the veracity of anything that the leader says. I mean, they take you out into the yard and execute you.
Right.
People are definitely afraid.
Well, yeah, because it's not like a rumor, and they're doing it. And just was watching an interview with a 14-year-old girl from there, and she said, yes, they took my best friend's mother out into the yard and shot her. Wow.
Yeah, it's like the Jews in Germany.
Very much so. Yep.
You know, I don't know what the percentage is of schools that have teachers within them that are carrying. But, you know, we talk with law enforcement officers, and actually I had a really good conversation with one yesterday, and you get their feel for, you know, they would love to have somebody on the inside, at least one somebody on the inside, because these cops are now making it a point in our area to stop into the schools, to actually have lunch with some of the students, to try to mingle, try to learn the floor plan, get all of this down pat. But,
and it's a public relations move for the kids to like them and be involved. And
not be afraid, petrified,
correct,
if they see them show up. But, you know, I mean, that still, that conversation hasn't changed, is what are you going to do? How are we going to start protecting our children? Why not let them flee the school? Why not let them get out of this locked up institution to stop such a mass casualty from happening? Fight. There's things in your classroom, pencils, I don't know, hot cup of coffee.
Well, they're telling kids to bring cans of
soups
food
and stuff. Yeah, to throw at somebody. But
from the same group of people that says that women should take their car keys to scratch somebody in the eye when you know, all the guy's going to do is just punch your lights out, throw it in the back of the car, and take it. I mean, it's just idiotic stuff.
Yeah.
But you're right. There are things you can use, but you have to know what to do. It's like people say, well, hit them with a fire extinguisher. Well, how about I got another idea? Certainly, yes. Where do you hit them? Literally, where do you hit them? But also, you know what you can do? You could use a fire extinguisher, the kind that makes the big clouds of stuff, to provide a smoke screen for people who like to run across a hallway or to get away, that kind of a thing.
Right. Well, they have some fog machines installed in schools now for that reason. So, things hit the fan, the doors auto lock and they blow fog into the hallways, which is supposed to disorient a shooter. I think it also probably make it tough for responding officers to see what was happening. But two different schools of thought on that.
Yep. Well, here's what we're going to look at, though. In the next few weeks, lots of discussions. I think probably the governor of Florida is going to cave completely on the age limits, which will make no difference because, a number of the folks who went in and shot up places are older than 21.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. This makes no sense at all. It's beyond being feel-good. It's idiotic feel-good stuff.
It's dangerous.
But I think the governor's going to cave on that. What I'm really interested in watching, though, is Trump actually doing a little negotiation dance, or is he serious about doing some of caving on some of this stuff? I don't know if he's doing the art of the deal here and doing a rope-a-dope on him.
I don't know, but that angered me.
Angered me, too. Angered a lot of people.
Uh-huh.
You can't do that. And if you do that, please be aware, as we were talking about earlier, we will walk. If it means the Democrats take over, we will actually do that as a way of showing you that, you cannot take us for granted. And people say, well, that's just dumb. Yeah, it may be, but it's what's going to happen. Because they're going to say, I cannot hold my nose and pull the lever for you. If you will vote to take away our rights, not happening. We'll go third party. We'll do what we got to do. I don't know.
So I'd like to track the sale of 3D printers for the next 2 years. I tell you what, they're going to have legislation on that too. Well, mark my words.
Oh, sure, they're trying already. Absolutely. The other thing is, could see a little uptick in firearms sales, depending on what happens there. Mm-hmm. I know they're trying to say, well, we'll just do a little bit, we'll give them a little bit, and we will be able to get through the midterm elections based on that. That's a conversation that's taking place right now.
The Band-Aid, yeah.
Yeah. And they say it's not too bad, and we won't lose very many of the gun guys on this. And we know it's not going to actually do anything as far as crime or safety, but we can use it for political cover for the upcoming election. That's the conversation.
Yeah.
And it's not going to stop there, as we all know, but ammunition is part of this deal.
What we have to do is every single one of us needs to get on the horn, calling and emailing right now our two senators and our representative, and saying in the states, the governor's office, and saying absolutely freaking no. This is a feel-good, silly deal that's not going to do any good and will actually harm our rights. And I am telling you, I do not want you to do this. And, we always say, I got to do that. And we don't. Well, you got to. We can stop this because right now they're hearing from the other side. We have to have them hear from us. Otherwise, it's just a vacuum. And then they say, well, yeah, see, everybody wants this.
All right, play devil's advocate for a minute for me, Tom. Won't you humor me?
Certainly.
Okay, please, sir, tell me what the problem would be with just getting rid of the signs and changing the law that a school is the same as a Kroger or the mall or anywhere else. It's not going to stop anything, but in the meantime, while we do all the sociological stuff and the drug stuff and the way you raise your kids and all the other stuff that definitely comes into play, we can stop the bleeding instantly when it happens. What's the drawback?
Can't find one. What they always say is, well, more guns are not the answer.
Right. Well, in one of the shows that was playing this morning, actually, it was on that ABC channel. Right after Dana was on there, they had parents and they had students, I believe. I wasn't in the room watching it, but it was going in the background. And one of the conversations is, well, I don't know what, that student will do when they get in the classroom. Okay, so who don't you trust? Mm-hmm. Where are you drawing the line? You not trust the student? You not trust the teacher? Is it the whole thought process? Or you'd rather have somebody come in and not be able to stop such a massive amount of people losing their lives?
Well, and I would offer, if you don't trust the teachers who you trust with your children right now,
right,
then why would you trust the police officers who just showed you that some of them may not show up? Now, most of them are great and will, but I'm sorry, 2 points. It doesn't make any sense to think that they're all going to be that way. And some of them clearly have just showed us that they won't. They're willing to let your children die. But more than that, they can't get there fast enough.
Right.
I want to take them and say, okay, I'm going to slap this table once every 5 seconds. Every time I slap the table, somebody dies. And you tell me how many times I'm supposed to slap it before a cop shows up, or how many lives you're willing to give up because you don't trust somebody in that room to have a gun.
I have a slogan for that whole campaign.
Yes.
Why wait?
Okay.
Why wait for the cops to show up? Why wait for an authority, somebody with a badge and a hat?
Well, remember, they're statists. At their core, all good comes from the government. All power comes from the government. And you must be willing to give up all of your rights and all of your power to the good of the state, for the power of the state. They truly are statists at heart. And so that's where the whole welfare comes from. That's where all the rest of this stuff comes from. When you understand that term and where they are, then it starts to make sense where they would say, yes, actually, it's just the cost. It's just going to be the way it is. Some people are going to have to die, but we will have to put up with that in order to preserve the power of the state.
So you're saying we should just take self-reliance out of the dictionary?
That's what they would like. Self-reliance scares the heck out of them. Self-reliance, is people they can't control. Now, you and I, of course, are thinking of self-reliance as a good thing. They're thinking it's a bad thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, when they hear self-reliance, they think, somebody in a cabin in Idaho,
he's gone rogue,
living off the grid.
Ted Kaczynski,
right.
Unabomber deal or something like that. When they hear self-reliance, that's what they picture. They don't think of people who can help other people, who can pull you out of the snow, who have chains, who have tow straps, who have four-wheel drive, and they go out and help people.
Who show up when the floods are there.
They don't think of the Cajun Navy that says, hey, everybody get your boats, let's go. And we don't care, by the way, what color the people are who need help. We don't care where they're from. We don't care what their economic status is. We're just going to go help because people need help. Wasn't the government doing that. It were self-reliant individuals doing that.
I have goosebumps. This whole conversation is just, it's so frustrating.
All right. I'm going to recommend again. I know I said it before. You never hear me recommend twice, but I'm going to. This book, The Vanishing American Adult. Grab a copy of it. You'll start talking about it. You'll start sharing it. But a lot of that has to do with what we're talking about here. It's building better children, basically. How to build better children and better grandchildren, making them self-reliant. Not that, Michelle, you need to do that because you have fabulous children. I mean, come on. And you guys did that. But it's kind of a roadmap for how to do it and what to watch out for. This whole, where they all have some type of screen and they're in it. Phones, iPads, whatever. Mm-hmm. Man, that is that's a brain fryer. It just messes up young brains. I mean, literally does. Anyway, in the meantime, I'm going to carry everywhere I can possibly carry, and some places I'm probably not supposed to.
I'll one-up you, and I'm going to start carrying 2 now, as of 15 minutes from now.
Actually, I carried 2 the other day. I don't know why. I just said, I had my LCP, and I thought, I'm just going to slip that in the back pocket while I've got my other pistol on my belt. And it said, 1 is none, 2 is 1, and felt pretty good, actually. But do you have a holster for that thing yet?
No, I just put it in my pocket because I don't care about my legs. And if I get amputated, it's no big deal.
What you do is now you need Kevlar jeans, blue jeans. There you go. Now we're talking. I like it. That was really a terrible deal. That's just awful. So, just one of those deals, guys. Be careful, guys and gals. They can go off. Well, it just went off. Yeah, well, it might. Where's it pointed? You might want to think about that, too.
Yep.
All right, guys. Let's see. For heads up for those out there, I'm going to be doing some traveling, so we'll have some interesting shows coming up from different places. Okay. We'll have more about that as we go along.
Cool.
And, all right, that'll be fun. And I don't know, guys. You just got to keep fighting the good fight, right?
That's right. Make your phone calls, write your letters, send your email.
That's it. And at least for 2 of you, new guns. Get out there and do some shooting. I hear a woo-hoo in the back.
Yeah, we're out of
here. All right, go make a joyful noise for the Second Amendment.
See ya.
Bye.
Well, that wraps up another Gun Talk After Show. But if you want even more gun-related stuff, don't forget to check out Gun Dealio. It's the app for Apple and Android phones that connects you to all the Gun Talk shows, plus even more. And we'll catch you next time for the Gun Talk After Show.